Hello. Hi, hi, hi. Ha, 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 hi. Ha, hi. Hello, hello. Hey, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hey, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hey, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Okay, I am talking about why people are so. Oh, hi there, hi there. I'm talking about really quickly why people are just on brown women telling them what they should believe and who they should follow and laughing at them and calling them all kind of names. Just laughing at Christians in general. Like people make fun of Christians, call them dumb and say they don't know the truth, that they're low in consciousness and all these things. I have this to say to folks who want to tell folks what to believe. I always feel like people have a right if they don't want to practice Christianity because Christianity is a religion. Okay, it is a religion, but at the same time, I've experienced spiritually that the Bible is a living word. Granted, I know a lot of stuff was kept out. There's a lot of books kept out. Okay, in the King James Version, it might not be the original way it was, but at the same time, just listening to it, I see what's happening in the spiritual when I listen to it. And when I read it, I feel what happens to me internally. So at this point, nobody can really tell me, regardless of what was changed, regardless of whatever was changed from whatever version of King James, nobody can tell me that it's not a living word. Because of the stuff that I've been through in the last 3 years, that literally only this kind of spirituality has brought me from. Okay? So, but at the same time, I am a person who is matriarchal. I realize that the light came from the darkness. The Father is light. The Father is perfect light. Light comes from darkness, and the mother is darkness. So I am one who follows the great mother. It's just what it is. Some people might not agree with that, but at the same time, I mean, you really, who is anybody to disagree with somebody's spiritual beliefs? Like, who is anybody to disagree? Not when you don't have all the answers. Is you can't really disagree when you don't have all the answers. Even when you know a lot, there's still no room to make fun of somebody else because you should not be here. You should not wake up and still be here. Because if you have the answer, then why are you here? And I say you're still here. I'm talking about the people who always want to tell somebody what to do. I'll say you're still here because you might know the answer, but you still have attachments. You're attached to this world. And until you release attachments to this world, there's no room to tell anybody else what they need to believe in. Because you're looking like a hypocrite. And when I say you, I'm not speaking to people listening. I'm just talking about it in general. Now, so I tired of telling brown women to leave Christianity for other patriarchal religions. Nobody tells the brown woman to leave Islam alone. Nobody tells her to leave that alone. So let her stay with Christianity. Nobody tells her to. And what I noticed with these brown women, when they do leave Christianity and go to these other practices, it's still practices where they're underneath a male. I won't call out the names, but just for some people that I hear online talking about their different practices, they still have to be initiated by some kind of male. So why leave Christianity and go to a religion, or even if it's like a spiritual practice, right? And you still need to be initiated by men. That almost sounds like a spiritual trap. So what's the point? Just stay under Christianity if that's what you're going to do. Because a trap is a trap. Okay? But that's just what I want to briefly talk about. All these different practices. A lot of people wanted to follow Beyonce when she came out with Lemonade. And a lot of people was talking about how, yeah, we're supposed to be, going back to our ancestors, the Orishas. Who said the Orishas was the ancestors of Black Americans? I know I say brown women, but so-called Black Americans. Who said the Orishas are the ancestors of brown women in the United States of America? Who said that? How do you know that? How do you know? I mean, some people might know. But, it's almost like you're taking from one thing and then you are taking somewhere else that's, no different. I'm not going to say that nothing has never worked for them. I'm not going to say that. But they're going from one thing to the other. It's just range of motion here. And that's all I want to talk about really quickly is, that's all I want to talk about really quickly is telling a brown woman what you're doing, what you believe in. I think the biggest mistake is, and sometimes when I see brown women leave Christianity alone, that's right, you go and pray to the Black Madonna statue because truth be told, that is who the Pope goes and pray to. They have the Virgin Mary out front who looks like a Caucasian woman, but in the back is a Black Madonna, and that's who the Pope goes to pray to. That's what I'm talking about. They don't know all this stuff really started with the brown woman, and they just changed it around to be patriarchal. That's why I feel like the Bible is still a living word for me, because it's still there. The power is still there. And to tell brown women to completely leave it alone, to me, is the biggest mistake ever. Ever. Even if you got two different Jesuses, okay, they still got a lot to learn. And this is what I want to get on. If you're going to tell a brown woman what to leave alone, you need to be willing to teach her. Like, I need to see more brown women who want to tell brown women who, like, when you see other brown women telling brown women specifically in the United States of America, telling her what she needs to leave alone, talking about leave Christianity alone, leave Jesus alone, because that particular Jesus is a sorcerer and there's another Jesus. If you are going to say that, you need to be willing to teach for free, because you already on there getting online constantly telling people what not to believe in. So you need to be teaching. You need to don't stop there. Because you tell her to leave one thing alone and she leaves it alone and she goes to something like other spiritual practices where she needs to be initiated by a man. And then she's messing with other spirits that I'm not going to call the other spirit's name. I don't want to call them out. But she's messing with other spirits that she don't know nothing about. And to be honest, these other spirits have a lot to do with slavery. They have a lot to do with making sure brown people in the United States of America stay low in consciousness. And they don't know that's who they messing with. So if you're not going to tell her, do all the teachings of Great Mother, teach about matriarchy, teach all the teachings of matriarchy, talk about all the goddesses and whatever. If you're not going to do an in-depth teaching, don't tell her what to believe, because the only thing she's going to do is just continue to stay lost. At least talk about the origins of Christianity, where it started with the woman or something. I'm talking about the people who really know the truth. I'm talking about the people who know the truth, like they know the whole truth. And if they don't know the whole truth, then they need to stop and just shut up. Okay, if they don't know the whole truth, they need to go and shut up. Because you only say a little bit. Oh, brown women need to stop doing this and they say one sentence about a matriarchy, and then they leave it at that and don't want to say nothing else. So you don't want people to know anything. You want to keep all this information to yourself. So stop telling people what to do, because it's obvious you don't want to share. You don't want to share. So leave folks alone. You need to be willing to say it for free. Nobody should go somewhere and pay $100 to join some group to hear you tell the truth. If you're going to go online and tell people what not to believe in for free, then teach for free. Like, tell them what's going on. But if you're not willing, like I see this so many times, like for the last 10 years, of a lot of women who understand what this was before patriarchy got into place, and they understand what it was, but for some reason they don't want to talk about it. They will not talk about it, but they will get on and talk about how brown women need to leave Christianity alone. And where's she going to go? Because she don't know the truth. So if you're going to tell her what to leave alone, then you need to be willing to teach the truth. Don't tell somebody to leave something and then have them suspended in like leave them hanging in suspended animation. And this is what I noticed that brown people like to do a lot. You just leave them suspended. You tell them what not to do, but then you don't give them nothing else, and you leave them lost. So let them stay with their Christianity. And I don't care what nobody say. The Bible is a living word. That's I experienced that for myself. It's a living word. Now, is it going to work overnight? Well, since you wanted to like invite all this stuff into your life for the last 30, 40, 50 years, no, it's not going to work overnight. It's not going to be a miracle worker because it needs to be, your heart is the one that needs to change. Okay? So I don't care what nobody say. I'm not a Christian as far as a religion, like as far as a religion type of Christian, I'm not into that. And the reason why is because there's something different. I always put the mother first before the father. Like when I say the Lord's Prayer, I say our mother and father. I don't just say father, I say mother and father. I keep a balance there. The light had to come from darkness. The father is the light. The mother is darkness. The light had to come from darkness. So I'm not going to leave the mother out. But that's just me. That doesn't mean anybody else need to believe it. I do realize for me, when I add the mother, there's a little bit more power than when I say the father. And that's my own experience of what I see in the spiritual when I add the mother. That's just me. Now, if nobody else see it that way, they can go on and do what else they want to do. But I ain't leaving the Bible alone. Heck no, absolutely not. And the people who tell you to leave it alone, first of all, haven't even read it. And if they have read it, they haven't read it with they read it like they read any other book. Like they read any other book. There's nothing behind it, right? There's nothing behind it. There's nothing they're trying to get out of it. They read it like they just reading a textbook. So yeah, where they come from and all about the Black community and pro-Black needs. Yeah, I said that before. Pro-Black means pro-Black male. Well, that's what the Black Panthers. That's what I was reading this article about with the Black Panthers, and it was like a school, some kind of school article or whatever. But they were talking about doing the Black Panthers, like, yeah, the black means black male. The term black in general means the black male. It doesn't even mean black woman. And I talked about how the Black feminism movement around that time came about because the Black women did not have an identity. Because the woman was for the white woman and the black was for the black man. So the woman had no place. And so that's where Black feminism came from, to find her place. I said this before. I think brown women just need to be left alone. I don't think they understand the things that's happening. It's because people need to just leave brown women alone. It's for her own good. If brown men leave and decide to go to non-black women in droves, it's really for or be with themselves, each other. It's for her own good, because I realize, the Bible says, don't lay down with a woman like you would a man. Don't lay down with a man like you would a woman. But this is not about being a lesbian. These people are holding brown women hostage, spiritually holding her hostage, to the point where it's not even about her being with another woman. She just need to be left alone so she can know what the truth is, and people need to get out her ear. But it's for the brown woman needs to step back too, but she's not going to do that. She has to be put in a place where people turn on her. And we kind of see that happening, where it's going to get to a point where brown women are going to leave people alone. That's what it looks like in the United States of America. Every time something come up, you see where they're trying to demonize the brown woman, constantly demonizing the brown woman. But I'm just putting in my little notes. I just feel like talking about that really quickly. Hello. Yeah, mommy water. And I'm gonna say this: not all brown women, brown people in general, including the men, when the brown woman was like the God, and I'm talking about before it was the image of a male, it was the image of a brown woman, right? And when brown people collectively went to that image as their God, their most high, brown people did well. But then they want to change everything to be like another group of people. And this is why I don't get into these conversations. I'm not interested in boycotting Target and getting into these conversations. And you know why I'm not going to boycott Target? Because of some DEI or because of whatever brown people are being fired, maybe brown women. The reason why is because they want to blame Trump, right? But if they want to blame Trump, then you need to, didn't most brown men vote for Trump? See, brown women have yet to boycott these men, but they want to boycott everything else. Okay? So, But I just feel like talking about that really quickly. I'm about to finish putting in my notes and going to head off, though. Yeah, I'm about to head on off and finish putting in my notes. And I just wanted to talk about that really quickly. All right, I'll talk to you later. Okay.